What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch.
I played some videos of this guy, Yuval Noah Harari, before. He is a big timer over at the World Economic Forum, talks a lot about the biomedical state and sort of the AI, the jump that we're making into AI and all of that stuff. Here's an interesting compilation. It was making the rounds of Yuval Noah Harari, who's a big hero of the progressive left, by the way, because they do like authoritarian control, explaining how COVID has led us to this very interesting place of surveillance that's actually going to be under our skin. Does that seem like a problem to anyone?
And COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin. What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch. The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin. We now see mass surveillance systems established even in democratic countries, which previously rejected them. And we also see a change in the nature of surveillance. Previously, surveillance was mainly above the skin. Now it's going under the skin. Governments want to know not just where we go or who we meet. Above all, they want to know what is happening under our skin. What's our body temperature? What's our blood pressure? What is our medical condition? Now humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
All right, I want to be totally fair to him because there's a lot of scary stuff there and I will address that. But I have heard him expand on some of this stuff where he's not always directly calling for all of this stuff to happen. He's just saying it is happening. This is what governments want. This is the technology that exists. So I'm not going after him fully here, but everything that he's talking about there, well, okay, maybe it could be on the horizon. Maybe it's kind of happening now. Maybe COVID, I mean, in essence, he said we needed COVID to get this game afoot. That's all well and good, but I don't want the government under my skin. It is already a problem that we know the government coordinates with big tech to read what you're writing and listen to your conversations and shadow ban you and all of those things. But what right does the government have to know what your heart rate is or whether you're sick or not? You know, interestingly, you could connect this to why nationalized healthcare is a problem, because once you nationalize healthcare, once you say to everybody, okay, you're all going to pay into the system so that we could give healthcare to everybody, well, the government then does have a vested interest in going, well, wait a minute, there's this whole group of people here that never exercise, they eat all this bad food, and they're getting real sick. They're a suck on the system, right? And then there's this whole bunch of other people over here, and they're healthy, and they eat right, and they get sun, and they're outdoors, and they're fit. They're living much longer. They're paying more into the system. So you could see why over time, once you have centralized control over health, healthy people and people who live right and do the right things and eat right and work out are going to be pretty damn pissed at the fat people who don't do any of those things because you're paying into a system that you're not getting any benefit from because you're healthy